give us the backstory. Give us like how you came up, what inspired you to play the vibes or even just get in music, what inspired you to do jazz, high school, college. Give us the whole rundown.
For sure. So I was born in Washington D.C. Moved to Houston. I think my mom tells me like 7 months. I was about 6 or 7 months old. So I only know Houston. In this neighborhood, Third Ward. So raised in Third Ward, and I am super grateful to my parents because I guess from elementary school all the way through undergrad, I only went to performing arts school. So I went to McGregor Elementary, which is a music magnet, which is where I started playing drums, percussion, and that's really interesting. Like when they let you pick an instrument in the third grade, but when I was in kindergarten, one of my best friends, Jalen Archie, I don't know if you guys know Jalen. Okay, yeah. So me and Jalen went to elementary school together. Kindergarten, like literally known him my whole life, and he was playing better than some people play today in kindergarten, and that was like when you're 5. My mind was still blown. I was like, I don't know what he's doing, but that's what I want to do.
He's a crazy drummer.
Yeah.
He's got a specific style.
One of the best in my opinion. There's a lot of people lucky he's in Houston and not in New York right now, in my opinion. But who else? Who else went to that school? Sterling Overshawn. I don't know if you guys know Sterling.
I know Sterling.
Okay. And his younger brother Bubba.
Right.
Tehran. Yeah. They all, so
Sterling
I was,
is funny.
When I was in kindergarten, so Sterling was a grade above me, Jalen Archie was in the grade with me, and Tehran was the grade below me, so I was like surrounded by these virtuoso prodigies at a really young age, and they're still to this day some of my best friends, and they've always been super encouraging to me, but I was like, I want to do what those guys are doing. So third grade came and they let you pick your instrument, and I was not gonna budge on playing the drums or percussion. So, I started, when I got real serious about it, maybe about the 4th or 5th grade, I started taking lessons with Sam Dinkins III. Don't know if you guys know Sam, but
I've heard of that name.
His studio is literally up the street. It's on like Wichita.
Oh wow.
And Southmore. Well, Southmore and then Wichita.
And he plays drums?
Yeah. Percussion. Incredible hand percussionist specifically, but like when I studied with him, everything. Like he made me learn mallets, drum set, concert snare, timpani, anything you can hit.
That's cool.
So like super grateful for him for making me literally test the water on anything that you can possibly strike. So from McGregor, I then went to Johnston Middle School, which at the time the band director was Craig Green, which who's legendary.
Sounded like you said bitch.
Oh, definitely did not. But Mr. Green was legendary music jazz instructor, band director in Houston, and incredible inspiration to me because he was definitely very hard on his students, like terrifyingly so. Like he was I can't say he was mean. He was very demanding.
There's some good cats coming out of Johnston.
Yeah,
honestly.
Yeah, Chris Dave, Eric Harlan.
Yeah.
The same names that went to PVA. Jason Moran.
They all went to this Johnston Middle School?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Paul Sterling, Matthew Kirkwood. There's just a obscene list. I think I want to say Walter Smith the third too, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Just a lot of people, and they all, especially the drummers, they all went through Mr. Green, and Mr. Green was a drummer, and he's from Houston. He played in the Kashmir Stage Band, which was like really big in the 70s. If you want to hear some incredibly authentic funk, you got to check out the Kashmir Stage Band.
I've never heard of them.
Yeah, I don't know if any of the music, because it was a high school band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, at Kashmir High School in, want to say 5th Ward, and one of the few, I guess, black led kind of music programs in in HISD at the time, and led by the legendary Conrad Johnson, who's huge here in Houston.
Oh, cool.
And they were playing, like, for real. And Mr. Green was a drummer there when he was in high school. I think he went to North Texas and then came, and he was at Johnston for, like, at least 20 years, maybe longer, because he definitely retired as a band director there. But that was a great experience. And that's when I kind of started playing more drum set and playing in the jazz band. And I remember this very vividly because I was, like, really into, like, classical percussion at the time. And I was, like, one of the few people there who was, like, really comfortable on mallets. So when I was in jazz band, there was 3 drummers, maybe 4. Might have been 4 drummers in the jazz band, and obviously only 1 drummer can play at a time. So he made me play vibes on So What. And I remember being terrified out of my mind. And at the time, my friend Paul, who's on the album, he's a grade under me. And I remember calling him, and I was like, bro, I have no idea what to do on this song. And he was like, it's all good, bro. Like, you just play this scale, and then when I look at you, you switch to this scale.
That's fun.
Yeah. So that was like, Mr. Green, like, threw me into the deep end. And when he, in that, specifically in the jazz band, if he looked at you to solo, you better stand up and play something.
Right.
You might not play a single right note, but
Right.
I remember him yelling at us. He was like, "You're gonna stand up and play something for your parents." Like, 'cause he was like, "If I point at you to solo, don't shake your head."
That's awesome.
So hey, I mean,
That's it.
Exactly, and that's the only way to do it. You know, that's the only way to get better at it. So that was like my first experience with jazz vibes. And from Johnston, I went to HSPVA, the High School for the Performing and Visual Arts, in Montrose. It was in Montrose at the time. And I got in there playing classical percussion because that's what I thought I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to, like, play snare drum in a Philharmonic or whatever.
Oh, wow.
I was in pretty deep. And then I realized that they want me to play, like, 4-mallet marimba, and I was like, you know what? I think
That's cool too, though.
It is. It's
Classical
very cool. I love
marimba.
listening to it. I do
Yeah.
not like playing it.
Beautiful.
It is stressful. But so, like, the first 2 years at PVA, I was doing nothing but classical music, and once again, I love listening to it now. I have some really great friends who are
So grades 9, 10?
yes,
Okay.
grades 9 and 10, and then I'm trying to remember what happened. My 11th grade year, or it might have been the back end of my 10th grade year, I heard an album by Stefan Harris called Urbanist.
How did I know you were gonna say something?
And, like, Stefan has a lot of albums, but that album is kind of like a pseudo, almost like R&B funk, kind of more poppy sound for jazz.
Yeah.
And at that time, I had never heard the vibraphone in, like, that intense of a contemporary setting. Like, there's obviously Roy Ayers, who made a lot of money doing, like, R&B music, but I hadn't heard of him yet. And Stefan, you know, his band's playing, and he has Casey Benjamin singing on vocoder. And I was like, what is this? And he's playing marimba, and it's all just, like, real soulful, like, pentatonic scale,
Yeah.
like, bluesy stuff. And I'm like, I gotta play this. And it was such a change of pace from playing, like, Bach inventions or whatever, which I still do, actually. I practice those all the time. But I used to get in a lot of trouble with the band director at PVA, because we'd be playing and I would start just changing notes and adding grace notes and stuff in, like, an ensemble setting. He'd be like, man, he was like, Jalen, can you please just play what's there? And, which I don't think anybody should ever rewrite Bach. I was stupid to try and do so. But at the time, I was just, like, feeling and hearing something different. Especially once I heard Stefan, that's when the gloves came off completely, and I was like, man, I have to play jazz.
Stefan's a classical guy too, isn't he?
Yes, very much so.
So he came into jazz, but he's not a conventional jazz player, I don't think, because he has his own concept.
Yeah.
Big time. So
Yeah, and it's very, very much far removed from how most people kind of teach jazz, I guess, in a more academic setting.
It is widely known that the tobacco and diet industries lobbied governments with scientific propaganda for years until proven guilty in court. The artificial treatment of our water is the next corporate deception.
For example, virtually every nation in Europe has rejected the use of artificial fluoride. International studies since the 40s have repeatedly shown that endocrine and neurological effects increase after repeated consumption, even at the levels accepted by U.S. government.
Epic Water Filters is the most thorough industry-grade filtration system that Houston Ensemble has ever used. They reduce heavy metals upwards of 99.5%, such as lead and mercury, bacteria like E. coli, and poisons like chromium, nitrate, and fluoride.
Join us in our journey to living a toxin-free life and get your Epic Water Filter using discount code Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word. That's Houston Ensemble, lowercase, one word, for 20% off your Epic Water Filter.